larger than our entire solar system, are illuminated by starlight, creating the most vibrant colors in the universe. Some of these nebulae, including the breathtaking Eagle, may possibly be stellar nurseries, locations where new stars are born. While others, like the Crab Nebula, are the products of an event that, though rarely observed, has captivated astronomers for centuries. In July of 1054 AD, Chinese astronomers first viewed and recorded the appearance of a spectacular new celestial body. They called it a guest star, and for 23 days it blazed as the brightest object in the heavens, except for the sun. Though they didn't realize it at the time, those ancient observers were witnesses to the violent death of a star more than 6,500 light-years away. Now known as a supernova, the exploding star hurled gas, dust, and heavy elements in every direction, while forming the ever-expanding nebula. Until 1968, an aura of mystery surrounded the cloud-like mass. Astronomers could not understand why, after 900 years, the remains of a dead star could continue to shine so brightly. Finally, the answer was uncovered at the National Radio Observatory in Green Bank, West Virginia. After aiming a powerful astronomical instrument at the center of the Crab Nebula, then tracking it as it moved through the heavens, radio frequencies, not visible to optical telescopes, were detected pulsing in a precise, consistent pattern. The source of these unusual transmissions would prove to be one of the most fascinating celestial bodies ever discovered. Following the explosion that had formed the nebula, remnants from the dead star compressed into a small, extremely dense object called a pulsar. Measuring less than 20 miles in diameter, the pulsar spun rapidly on its axis while generating an invisible shaft of ultraviolet energy that swept through space much like the beam from a lighthouse. These constant bursts of radiation have heated and illuminated the Crab Nebula for nearly 1,000 years. Shortly after its discovery, this sequence of photographs provided a direct view of the pulsar, flashing within the great cloud of gas and dust. Since 1968, radio telescopes have identified several hundred of these mysterious remnants of once massive stars throughout the Milky Way. The death of a star can produce another, even stranger phenomenon. When a star at least 5 times the size of the Sun finally burns out its fuel supply, it can collapse on itself, forming a black hole. The gravitational pull of this galactic whirlpool is so strong that everything around it, including light itself, is trapped inside. The shape of a star is distorted and stretched while being relentlessly consumed by the inescapable forces of a neighboring black hole. It has been speculated that the center of the Milky Way may contain a black hole with a mass and gravitational pull millions of times greater than our own Sun. Less than a century ago, it was commonly believed that the Milky Way was, in and of itself, the entire universe. Nothing was thought to exist beyond its boundaries. Then, in 1924, high above Los Angeles at the Mount Wilson Observatory, a discovery was made that would dramatically alter the world's perception of the cosmos. Utilizing the most powerful telescope of his day, the astronomer Edwin Hubble conclusively determined that distant hazy objects in space, long thought to be nebulae within the Milky Way, were in reality individual galaxies, many as large or larger than our own. For the first time in history, a correct conceptual view of the universe was in sight. Edwin Hubble had opened a window to a cosmos inconceivably large and filled with countless galaxies, richly diverse in their sizes and shapes. Elegant spirals, similar to the Milky Way, were discovered throughout the heavens. The graceful arms of these flat galactic pinwheels are formed of gas, dust, and billions of stars. Even more common are elliptical galaxies. Virtually devoid of gas, ellipticals are comprised almost exclusively of stars alone, and are usually spherical or oblong in shape. While smaller, irregular galaxies take on a variety of eccentric forms. About 2% of all known galaxies are classified as irregular. Many of them are satellites of more massive spirals and ellipticals. Once thought to be evenly distributed throughout the universe, we now realize that individual galaxies are instead drawn together, at least in part by gravitational attraction, to form clusters and chains. It has been said that a penny held at arm's length toward the constellation Coma Berenices will block from view a cluster of more than 1,000 galaxies. Important clues to understanding the overall structure of the entire universe may well reside in these galactic clusters,